Alright, guys, so let's watch. What the hell?
When Leonard woke up, he discovered that Chiaro had changed him into a big plotted woman.
Nah, that one song. Calm as the bitch. I shouldn't know better. Sorry, my voice cracked.
But he didn't seem to care as Shioro told him that he was going to make him go through the same humiliation and suffering Anna went through. The foolish man didn't even know who she was until Chiaro reminded him of the woman he violated. So Leonard laughed out loud and told
Bro, you violated girls too, bro. Jit is switching up. Both of them was on the same team. But he think it's wrong to do that to girls. How do you see you? Bro.
Chiaro he had enjoyed every second of what he did, proving that he was a sick, twisted son of a He then noticed the nude men behind him giving him lustful stares.
Nah. One guy. We got Fred, the front one. He about to say, yeah, it's about to be my time to shine. We got Albert, the second one. Yeah, my time to shine. And we got the one, Jamal. Yippee! Yeah, he, you know how he is. Let's keep on watching.
And Chiaro told him that since he never understood the pain and suffering of those weaker than him, he hoped that
I understand, but Nick could wait two girls. No, he's a menace.
this experience would remedy it. The men jumped him immediately, and Chiaro made sure
Nah, let's see this.
and Shigeru told him that since he never understood the pain and suffering of those weaker than him, he hoped that this experience would remedy it. The men jumped him immediately.
Not, they began, yeah, Martin, John, Jamal. Yippee! Oh, that's Jackson. He's color.
And Chiaro made sure he set the place on fire before leaving Leonard to his fiery fate. After leaving Leonhard, Chiaro rushed to find Anna, and when he found her, he rushed over to her and tried to heal her, but it was too late. After he returned to his room, Flare and Setsuna told him to
Why are you upset? Well, you erase one girl's memories. You make the... Guys, later in this video, it's gonna keep on getting weird.
use them as he saw fit if it would help reduce the ache in his heart. So Chiaro handled them roughly. But while doing the
well...
deed, he realized he was crying and swore that would be the last time he cried.
He's getting upset. He's trying to get his revenge, right? You wait two... Nope. Let's keep on watching the video.
Because he would make the Joral Kingdom pay. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Kingdom, Norn read a letter which informed her of Leonard's disappearance and said that even though she'd set the stage for him, he failed to do.
Yo. If y'all want to see this and watch this, do not watch it. Nope. This arc is weird, okay? Remember that. This arc is weird.
His duty. She then began kicking her slave as she declared that she would execute all the villagers to flush Chiaro out. The next day, Karaha informed Chiaro of the execution order and said,
well, we got a snake. Oh, we got a snitch.
It would happen in 5 days at the Colosseum. She said that the Colosseum was heavily protected with an iron gate and had 2 kinds of magic barriers. Chiaro added that once inside the barrier would suck up a person's stamina and magical energy. Sakura argued that trying to save the villagers was a suicide mission and asked if he wasn't scared, to which he responded that he was scared, but for the sake of preventing innocent people from dying, he would do it. Karaha promised to help him and told him that Norn was back, causing him and Flare to freeze up. Karaha said she was sure Norn would
Who is Norn?
want to help free oppressed citizens just like them. But Chiara knew that Norn was a heartless monster who wouldn't think twice about slaughtering innocent people. You recall how in his old life Norn had noticed he was faking his madness, but had promised to keep quiet in exchange for him spying on her sister for her.
I remember this now. I remember this now. I'm not gonna spoil y'all this, but this part is weird.
She had also made him do the things her sister made him do to her just to see how far he was willing to go to keep his secret. Chiaro decided that Norn wasn't one of his targets because she didn't do anything to him, but knew he had to be wary of her. On the day of the execution, Chiaro snuck into the Colosseum, and as he watched the people clamoring for the death of his people, he was disgusted by how low humanity had fallen. The head executioner soon came out and said that if Chiaro had any humanity left, he'd turn himself in before his people were executed. He then gave the order for the execution to begin. Chiaro didn't show up, but just before they could, he revealed himself. Chiaro leaped from the stands to the middle of the arena, and the executioner told him that if he surrendered, the villagers would be set free.
Both think he's the main character.
Chiaro checked his status and that of the soldiers with him and asked if they were trying to pull his legs, saying they were all too weak and unworthy of his time. And since the executioner didn't like the fact that he was being humiliated, he ordered his soldiers to capture Chiaro. But when they approached him, Chiaro turned them into squash watermelons. The executioner couldn't believe his eyes, and since he was still trying to delude himself he was in control, he told Chiaro that he was adding to his long list of crimes. However, Chiaro approached the man and told him that he wasn't aware of any crime because he was trying to save his people by delivering justice. The man told him to remain where he was or else. They began sending the villagers off one by one, but Chiaro didn't listen and kept walking. So more soldiers tried to stop him by surrounding him at the same time. But Chiaro pulled a disappearing axe, causing the soldiers to accidentally slash each other. The executioner was scared, so he gave the order to his soldiers to begin the execution. But after they pierced 4 villagers in the chest, Chiaro threw a sword at one of the soldiers. When man saw this, he told Chiaro that his stubbornness was the cause of their deaths. And Chiaro told him to own up to the fact that he was a murderer and stop blaming someone else. He said he was just a victim trying to save his loved ones, and for that reason, he was going to turn the ground on which they stood to their graves. One of the soldiers tried to attack him, but he easily disposed of him, causing the executioner to order the barriers to be activated. However, what he didn't realize was that Chiaro had altered the barrier's function. So instead of hurting him, it affected the soldiers because of the special necklaces they wore. One by one, the soldiers fell bursting from inside, and Chiaro stood in all his glory as he was bathed in their blood. The soldiers soon realized that the necklaces were the cause of their problems and took them off. The executioner then told Chiaro that whatever he did to the necklace didn't matter because the barrier was still standing and he was trapped. But Chiaro called him a fool and realized they and called up a love because that was the error. However, Chiaro told him not to
Yep.
himself because the only reason he was still alive was because he found him useful. He then warned Goldman that once the boy regained consciousness, he would blame him for his misfortune, but he was not to try and change the boy's mind in any way. She told them it would be dangerous, so they should avoid going there, and added that Norn was going to be the commander and humans coexist. Norn complained since her her slave told her there was news of an uprising in Lanarita and the surrounding villages.
Is that a girl or a guy? I can't remember. I did not watch this anime. Promise. I watched somebody talk about this.
So she told him they would let magical creatures attack them so they didn't have to worry about them. He then asked if she would suspend the expedition, but she said she would not allow anything to stop her hunting game in Chiaro's campsite. While the girls were asleep, he fixed Flair's magic staff and said they needed to get one that could withstand her magic. He then thought of the divine armaments, which were strong weapons only heroes could master, which started as gems. But the moment a hero made a pact with it took on the form of a weapon suitable for the hero. There were only 3 of those gemstones, and since he was able to acquire one in his former life, he was determined to get one in his present life, while also wondering what form the gemstone would take once he formed a contract with it. The next day, they took a defensive stance and abandoned Branica, which was only a national board at the time. However, the city survived and became a place where people and demons coexisted. They went to a pub. While they sat to eat with other patrons,
Those look nasty.
Chiaro asked them how they were able to live in peace with each other. They told him that after the kingdom abandoned the city years ago, the feudal lord in charge at that time negotiated a risky deal with the demons. Chiaro was surprised that the demons agreed to the deal. So the man explained that at first they were skeptical, but as time went on, they learned to live in peace and harmony. Their conversation was soon disturbed by a waitress who added another patron to their table. But when the person took off their hood, Chiaro recognized her as the demon
Oh shoot, that is the demon
lord. Although she was a cute girl. He then offered her some. They told him that suddenly Flair and asked her. However, they the fun. The girl said that even if that were true, and explained that when he referred to her as Eve Rise, she was surprised, but he told her that he wasn't interested in fighting. And since Eve looked surprised to the an uncultured slimeball. Eve asked why they chose to, but she told him she would think about it. The next morning, she woke up to the sight of uncensored hentai, and Chiaro shamelessly told her not to mind them because it was their daily routine.
uh what? Whoa, what the? Damn double dogs.
Eve asked why they chose to do their business right next to her and accused them of trying to get her to drop her pants. But Chiaro assured her that he wasn't an uncultured slimeball who forced himself on women. When he noticed her trying to hold back her floodgates, he offered to help her clean out her pipes, but she told him to
Yeah, no, that can't work with me. No, nah. If that was me, believe.
Chiaro laughed and told her that if she decided to stay with them, she got to get used to seeing them go at it every day.
and see what I just saw. I barely saw something, but I know what they was doing.
Causing Eve to call him a shameless scoundrel whose plan had always been her body. He told her to stop acting like a poorly written Sunder, but she argued that she was a grown-ass woman. So Chihiro approached her and asked her to prove it, causing her to fall and come face to face with his swinging pipe.
The swinging pipe is crazy.
And when he touched her thighs, she screamed out, calling for her mother. After their morning exercise, they sat down to eat, and Chihiro told Eve that her mother would be disappointed. However, he told her that activity was while causation. So they told him they were the only. When Mac his way on the law, Widget joined them and asked them to watch over Eve while he went into town. Eve pointed out that the thugs who were after him would recognize him, so he changed his appearance and assured her that he'd be fine when he left. He arrived at the pub to find people gathered and acted, accessing the damage. Suddenly, there was a commotion, and when he turned around, he saw one of the demons from the night before charging his way on the large bull. He jumped out of the way and told the demon he was after the wrong guy, but the demon told him that even though he changed his face, he couldn't change his scent. So Chihiro threw a knife at the bull, causing it to scream and run off. When he returned home, he gave the girls new clothes and food and told Setsuna that she would help him track down the demon that attacked him earlier. Flare then told the girls to change the women on the importance of foods, which so he asked. While he was there, Blade came in and immediately took notice of him. She approached him and
this that character is really important. Blade is really important. Remember that, okay? Blade is really important.
as Eve wondered what kind of crazy people she had gotten mixed up with. After they dressed him up, he left the inn and headed to the bar. But he was stopped by some uncultured men who tried to take advantage, so he had no choice, and then both of them started a conversation. But after a while, Chihiro told Blade he was going home. She ordered another drink.
Watch this part, okay?
Which she slipped a powdered substance in.
I haven't watched this, only watched clips of this. Don't go to the comments, tell me where I watched this at. Don't worry about it, I saw a YouTube channel. Alright, let's watch it.
Asked him to drink it, but Chihiro refused, saying he'd had enough. But she drank and kissed him. He pushed her away, but suddenly started feeling dizzy, and before he knew it, he passed out. Blade took his body and began making her way home, but she was almost attacked by the father of one of the girls she molested. The man said he'd make her pay.
Shit. Wait, can girls go to jail when a girl molests a guy? Can they sue them? I don't know.
For hurting his daughter and tried to know who he was as she pulled out her heightened the physical ability. Blade told him it was pointless. She approached the bed and promised to show him why men would soon become useless to women. She kissed and tried to get freaky with him.
Name one reason why. Point A. Y'all stuff, you need a male and you need a female and male to reproduce. That's how the reproduce system works. Point A. Most guys do stuff in the world. I understand girls do stuff in the world too. So, yeah.
But to her horror, she discovered that he had a rather large pipe.
No. What the?
Blade backed away in disgust, and as she puked her guts out, allowing Chihiro to free himself. And when she turned to face him, he used a poison blade to cut her. She tried to retrigger his sword, but the poison was already making her weak.
Hey, come, Mr. Bitch. I should've known better. Oh my. And she about to get me molested. But this is where the video is going to end so far, guys. So talk to y'all later, and peace.